Which bowlers have the smoothest swings of all time? That's what I'm aiming to find out in this video. And anytime you're trying to narrow down 5 bowlers for this kind of list, it's incredibly difficult because there's just so many to choose from, and that's the reason why I've done quite a few parts to this video series. But after reviewing the parts I've already done and getting some comments from people about other suggestions, I felt that I just had to do another part because there are some absolutely amazing bowlers with very smooth swings who were not included in the previous parts. Some of these are absolute legends of the game, and there are some which are current bowlers which probably have the smoothest swings on the tour right now. So I'm going to go through this list one by one and talk a little bit more about each bowler in question. So let's start off with number 1, Mike Aulby.
See Mike Aulby with a very good record on TV. Oh yeah. Could cut quite a bit into that lead that Walter A. Williams had. There's a four-bagger. Going for 5 in a row on the left-hand lane.
Now, Mike Aulby is a player that I really should have included in a previous part because he has one of the smoothest swings we've ever seen. Everything about his style and approach I just love. The way he pushes the ball up really high, but then just has this really smooth swing, and he releases it and it's almost just effortless, and it's an absolutely fantastic swing and approach to watch. Not only is he so smooth, but he's also one of the best bowlers we've ever seen on the PBA Tour. He owns 29 tour titles, which include 8 majors. And also, Aulby was probably the best player of the 1980s as well. During the 80s alone, he won 18 tour titles, which included 4 majors. That put him at the very top in terms of players with the most titles in the 80s. The next was Wayne Webb with 14. Then you had Steve Cook and Pete Weber with 13. Perhaps you could argue that one of those maybe had a better decade, perhaps Pete Weber, but I think overall, Aulby was the best player of the 80s. His winning ways would continue in the 90s though. He continued to win consistently and actually picked up 4 more majors in the 90s. His final title came in the 2001-2002 season at the Silicon Valley Open. In 2025, there was a tournament that was named after Aulby, the Mike Aulby Nevada Classic, and it featured the Mike Aulby 13-9 oil pattern. Number 2, BJ Moore.
On that one.
Okay.
No one asked me, but I'm going to sign off on it. Back-to-back opening jacks for BJ as we take a look at our...
One of the sexiest games in the sport.
Ooh, go on. Tell me why it's so sexy.
Well,
BJ Moore was another player that was suggested, and I actually thought I had included him before, but apparently not. And it was an omission because he does have a very, very smooth swing. I would actually say his game is as textbook as you can get. When you really watch this in slow motion, it's just every part of his approach is just spot on. There's no unnecessary movement. I mean, the swing is just fantastic, and look at the way he actually releases the ball. It's almost a little bit Mike Fagan-esque, and the way he actually releases the ball, it just reminds me again a little bit of Pete Weber. But when you're thinking of players like that, when you're looking at BJ Moore, that just shows you how elite his physical game is. BJ Moore's been a very consistent player on the tour for a number of years, although he does only currently have the 1 PBA title, which came in 2019 at the Wilmington Open. But he's actually had a number of opportunities to win more titles, finishing runner-up 5 times, and actually has finished up as the runner-up 3 times at the Scorpion Championship. He also had a top 5 finish quite recently, one at the Cheetah Championship in 2024, and then last season in 2025 at the World Championship. So BJ Moore is somebody who is very competitive and is still very capable of making shows. I really hope he can win again on the tour because he certainly has the game to do so, and I think we all want to see more of his silky smooth swing. Number 3, Earl Anthony.
Stay out. Stay out. Hit it. All right. Okay. Get a break. Get a break. Please. Oh.
In a recent video about smooth swings, quite a few people mentioned that I had not included Earl Anthony. And to be honest, yes, it was a very good point. The reason I guess I haven't included him is because he almost seemed too much of an obvious choice, and I think I got a little bit caught up in looking for some other players, maybe some players that aren't as recognized. Yeah, I completely forgot about the biggest name of them all, Earl Anthony, the greatest left-hander we've ever seen, and in fact, probably the greatest of all time. I'll leave you all to debate in the comment section below whether that title goes to Earl or Walter Ray Williams Jr. So Earl finally gets a place on the list in a Smoothest Swings video, and of course it's very well deserved. His game and his swing was just unbelievably smooth. There was nothing flashy about it, but there didn't need to be because he was able to repeat shots with ease. Obviously the game has moved on a lot now. However, there's still a lot to learn from his style. I don't think we've ever seen a bowler so accurate or so smooth. I mean, in terms of accuracy, perhaps you could say Walter Ray Williams Jr. was up there, but in terms of smoothness, Earl Anthony is one of the best we've ever seen. So he finally gets a place on this list. Number 4, Brian Voss.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. Big frame, looks for a double. Big shot from Barnes. They all go down. Barnes. Big shot right here. And hurry! That's it! Not a sound to be heard. Until the release, it's high. Almost had the big 4. Match all even. Release it. Oh! He got it! Can you believe that? Brian Voss!
There's a bit of a theme here, and it's big names. We've had Mike Albee, we've had Earl Anthony, and now we have another big name in Brian Voss. And again, all I can say is I'm not quite sure how I've managed to miss out Brian Voss, but it turns out I did, and it's time to include him in this video. What I love about Brian Voss is really how he managed to adapt his game over the years, and in later years, he wasn't a bowler with the highest rev rate or speed or anything like that, but he was still able to be so competitive. And just to give you an idea of how good he was, first of all, he actually won his first title all the way back in 1983 and his last title in 2010. So that's a very long winning career. But also, he went on a very long winning streak each season. So he started in 1987 with his 3rd title and won a title every single season up until 1998, and the only reason that streak stopped is that he actually ended up breaking his wrist at the beginning of the 1999 season. That meant he wouldn't win again until 2002, and perhaps without that injury, he may well have continued to win each season. Voss's game was very smooth, and it was simple. He was very much of that era of players, like Norm Duke, who didn't need to be flashy. They just played a very much of a down and in shot. But don't get me wrong, Voss was versatile. He could play many different shots, many parts of the lane, which is why, he was so proficient at winning in so many different types of events and different types of ball patterns. But there was an element of keeping things smooth and simple, and it worked wonders for him. I have to say that he was a little bit before my time in terms of when I was watching the PBA throughout the 2000s. Yes, he was a feature, but he wasn't winning quite as much and was starting to get to the tail end of his career. So I would have loved to have seen him really in his prime during that period, because he was just so enjoyable to watch. Number 5, Andrew Anderson.
Island in nearby Sparks, Nevada. Anderson on top. Good start.
Beauty.
Kimberly. Great visit with Mike Albee here today. Anderson.
In my opinion, Andrew Anderson has the smoothest swing on tour right now. He's currently 30 years of age, and 2025 was an absolute fantastic season for him. And he will be hoping that this is the breakthrough that he was looking for, where he can start to really win consistently, because before that, the titles were a little bit sporadic. He won his first title in 2018 at the USBC Masters, won again in 18 as well, but the singles titles would stop there. He would win a doubles tournament with Chris Prather in 2021 and again in 2024 for titles 3 and 4. But it wasn't until 2025 that he won another singles PBA title, and that was at the Mike Albee Nevada Classic. And then again, he won for a second time, this time at the 2025 PBA Tour Finals. And to make the 2025 season even better, he actually had a couple of very nice non-title wins as well. The 2025 USBC Open Championships, where he won the all events, but also he did win the 2025 National Champions Clash as well. So he's flying high at the moment, and to be honest, you can see why, because his game is just so good and his swing is so incredibly smooth. I think there's a very strong chance that the 2025 season has really ignited his career now, and that he's going to continue to be a big factor on tour throughout 2026. Like I said, I think he has the smoothest game on tour right now, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Well, that is going to bring us to an end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed this one and that you agreed with my picks. Like I said, there were some pretty big names on here who were well overdue being included in this video series. So I hope you have enjoyed this one, and if you have, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on my future videos. Well, that is going to do it from me for today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.